Hello, beautiful people. Future me. Welcome to another programming workout of mine. We'll start with the typing as always. Let's get into it. Python, okay. Start the timer. None. Oops. Seven. Lucky number. It could be better. Could be worse. Let's try again. Okay. What now? It felt better. Error-wise. 1%. That's awesome. That's awesome. So we will practice low errors. That's what we do. and I'm out of the time. So I stop this timer, start the spring timer. I'll go to my notes and I end up in here. And the project was spring example 7. Okay, so we will go to spring example 7. I will open it in this window. Oh yeah, and if I remember correctly, it did not did the destroy thing. So in the main app, if I run this, we will have cool. It is here. Background. Restart later. Yeah, so you have init, but I don't have to destroy. So I can go back to not config A, but it was somewhere in the. It is config A. Okay, so in config A, and I have init and destroy. And this is separated by comma in here. So maybe I don't know. I'm not here. We'll have a look here in it. It's injecting. It's import. I did import. And then it was the lifecycle class. So it is init method, init destroy method, clean up. Okay, so I don't think it would be the name of that. That sounds like nonsense to me. That would be the problem. So it even highlights that it is this guy. So if I rename you to clean up, it even changes this guy. And if I run it again, I'm expecting to get the same thing. Oh, wait a moment. I had to do, if I remember correctly, to trigger the destroy thing, I had to do some hook or something in the application, and that would be application context. I don't remember. Let's go. So there will be somewhere being lifecycle. And destroy and context register shutdown hook. Okay. So I will try that. And it cannot be application context. It has to be abstract application context. Okay. It should be all right. Okay. Yeah, and now it should call the destroy thing. And it does that. So cool. This has been solved, and I will go to read the next thing. Meanwhile, I can restart. So, we have that. Oh, I have still one thing here to do, and that was the bean scope. And the scopes were singleton and prototype, I think. Let's have a look. Here, scopes, singleton per prototype. Okay, so there are more. We were doing just singleton and prototype. Which one is default? Singleton. So prototype. To have any number of object instances. Okay, so maybe I don't want to go it. Maybe I will go to the next thing. Event handling in Spring. So it will be so okay. And last projects for then event handling in Spring. You have seen in all the chapters that the core of Spring is the application context, which manage the complete life cycle of the beans. The application context publishes certain types of events when loading the beans. Publishes where, for example, a context started event is published when the context is started, and context stopped event is published when the context is stopped. I don't know what that means. Event handling in the application context is provided through the application event class and application listener interface. Hence, if a bean implements a application listener, every time an application event gets published to the application context, that bean is notified. Okay. And here are some standard events. So it's context refreshed event, started event, stopped event, closed event, and the request handled event. Context refreshed event. This event is published when application context is either initialized or refreshed. This can also be raised using the refresh method on the configurable application context interface. Okay. This event is published when the application context is started using the start method on the configurable application context interface. You can pool your database or you can restart any stopped application after receiving this event. Context stopped event This event is published when the application context is stopped using the stop method on the configurable application context interface. You can do required host keyword after receiving this event. Okay. Closed. This event is published when the application context is closed using the close method on the configurable application context interface. A closed context reaches its end of life. It cannot be refreshed or restarted. Okay. Stopped can be, I suppose. So you can start, stop, refresh, close, then you close it, and request handled event. This is a web-specific event telling all beans that HTTP request has been serviced. Confusing so far. Spring events handling is single-threaded, so if an event is published until and unless all the receivers get the message, the processes are blocked and the flow will not continue. Hence, care should be taken when designing your application if the event handling is to be used. Listening to context events. To listen to a context event, a bean should implement the application listener interface, which has just one method on application event. Application listener, okay. So let us write an example to see how the events propagates and how you can put your code to do required tasks based on certain level. Okay, so which configuration you use? You use the XML configuration. Okay, we can do that. And we have hello world, send get message. Then there is the handler, that is the new stuff. And there is a stop handler, that is also the new stuff. And here we have the main app, context start, says context stop. Okay. Then there's this configuration, and here is what we get. And we have those beans, handlers, and we just create the beans in here, and that's it. That's it. It just implements the context stopped and implements application listener, implements application needs, and it, oh, okay. So on application event, and then it has some input parameters. Ah, okay. Well, I will create a new project. If I found where my IntelliJ went. Where's my IntelliJ? Here, okay, good. And I will create a new project. This will be Spring Example 8. Hello. Okay. So 13 is good. I will add the libraries, which I downloaded in the folder which just vanished in front of my eyes. Spring clips, yeah, and all of the inside of it, because I will not choose. Okay, next. and this will be Spring example 8. Hopefully it is created in the right place. Okay, so I have Spring example 8. I'll change my nodes accordingly. And now I will go in here and start doing the magic. So here I will have the XML configuration file that will be Spring config. It will be called beans.xml. And I leave it as it is right now. And here I will create a package. It will be com.example. And inside of there, I will have my class where I will create a container and everything. So that will be called main app and public static void main. I will create the context. So I will say new class at XML application context. I will say in beans.xml is the configuration, and all of this I'll extract to a variable. And I like to be just context, and it will be just application context, like so. Okay, so now we have this. Then I will be creating some bean. Getting some bean. So, and that will have just the string, just the hello world, which we've seen somewhere. And so I will create that, and this will be hello. It will have a private string. Yep. Greeting. Yeah, and what do I do? Constructor or setter getter. I need to have getter definitely, and I will do it using constructor, I think. So constructor in this field, yep. And then I will getter. Thank you very much. So now we have the hello thing, and in our main app, I can get that bean. Well, I have to define it in here, the bean, then I can get it. So I'll say bean, the ID will be hello lowercase. I will define the class where the Spring will know where to how to create that instance from example, and here we have the hello. And what's the problem? Not much in constructor in front in class hello. Matching constructor. Okay, so I will, yeah, because I need to here say construct arc, main, I think it was greeting. Then I will say value, and here I will say hello, and this should be sufficient. Okay, so Now, when I want to create a hello bean, it will put inside of the constructor on the place of the greeting variable value hello. Okay, so if I go to the main app, I can now ask our context, our container. Context and container is the same thing, right? Or I don't know. So I will get from context, and then I will cast it to my class. So the class is hello, yeah. And I will say context, get me the bean, and the bean is called hello. And all of this I will extract to a variable hello. And after I'm getting that, I will just print out the thing. So I will say salt, and then I'll say hello dot get greeting. So if I run it right now, that will be the old stuff we were doing in previous part of this tutorial. I'll just verify it works. And it does. Simple. And now I want to create the beans which will take care of the start and end things. So I can call on context dot start. I cannot. Okay, so maybe it should be different than application context. So let me see what they are using. And it is main app. It is configurable application context. Okay, so we can fix that. Configurable application context. Oh, come on. Yeah, like so. And now I should be able to do the start. And I also should be able to do stop. Okay. Now, if I create the classes which will implement the application listener and implement the right methods, it will do the right thing, which is trigger on that event. So I can do that right in here. So in here I will create another class. This one will be called start with I guess how they did call it. Start event handler. Okay, so start, stop. That sounds better. So I will rename it to Dart handler. That's it. And this one needs to implement the interface. So implements application listener, I think it was. And we'll implement the method on application method. Here we go. And I don't want the application event. So we just event, and this will be, I don't know, application stop event. Location. Okay, what it was. Context started event. Okay, so this means we are out of the time. So I'll just check my notes. 8, that, yeah. All right, so we are done. Our timer says we are done. Done is better than perfect. Then I'll see you next time. Bye.